What is up, everybody? We are back with the Aligned Podcast, a structured production. I'm joined with, as always, that you'll get used to, Rebekah. Rebekah, how are you today?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm a little uneasy. This is
Oh,
that weird time of, are we trying to make money? Are we trying to just like prepare ourselves for what should be an incredible amount of money? Because okay, I do live more than I want to on Twitter and everything right now. I'm probably the earliest person yapping about Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like I'm posting a bunch of content about it, preparing it, and I actually have a series of like how to formulate your offer and how to think about when you go live. And I did a promo with Wonderkin this week, and there was like they had this full fleshed out. It's actually literally right here. It's like they like sent this in the mail, and it's a full like treasure map of when to launch, where to go. And I was like, you know what? Okay. People are definitely, it is only August, but it's definitely Black Friday, Cyber Monday vibes. And I know I'm feeling this on the
yes.
brand side. I'm very curious on what you're feeling on the agency side.
We're feeling crickets, which is very typical for the agency side. We're kind of the last ones to find out what's happening. So this is as to be expected with working on the agency side. We're the last to know, last to be looped in. So we honestly haven't heard a whole lot other than we are prepping ourselves to make sure clients are remembering that we should be kind of talking about this sooner than later. We have some fun promotions rolling out to get people more emails that they might need during that period or more like UGC support. So we have things that we're working on, but we haven't really heard a lot from our clients yet about that time of year.
I'll pretend that like I'm client of structured and like this is we're I think this is because I'm an agency person and we come like
Mm-hmm.
majority of the people on my team are former agency side, so we're so ahead of these things. And I'll share this with you from the brand's perspective right now. Like I'm in really weird uncomfortable calmness because we had really big June and July. Summer was awesome. Now this we're recording this Labor Day weekend, right? So it's a big where a lot of promotions are going live right now, and so
For
we're
sure.
we're definitely squeezing the sponge more than I want us to be doing it. And Dan, which is my COO, and Abla, who's our head of finance, they're going like, "Hey, like, what's your projection for what you're going to do in September? Are you gonna pace to what you did this month?" And I'm telling them, guys, I don't think so because we ran a pretty deep offer. It was a buy more, save more, which is trying to sell a lot of units. I don't think I'm going to mimic that again coming into September and even into October. I think it'll be a little bit below expectations, or I definitely am not going to put like a massive bull case there. Do you think, based on your current trend to like spend for a lot of the brands you guys have, are they increasing spend? Are they kind of maintaining it? Are they adjusting CAC targets just because they know it's kind of a like a dead period?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely, I would say like most of our brands try and keep spend fairly flat because honestly, the systems really don't love us pushing and pulling spend aggressively, especially like the
Which
Googles
one,
of
like
the world.
Meta or
Meta
Google?
Meta has also become less. They've been more unstable when you try and push more, even if things are looking good. So it's definitely kind of interesting. I've definitely given that feedback to them as well. That it's not as easy to scale as it used to be. A lot of the brands try and keep their spend as flat as possible. Maybe throughout the month we'll push and pull, but nothing like significant month over month. But really, the main thing we'll see is that CAC targets will be adjusted during this lull because they understand this is not a big of a time for us. We don't have as much going on. They are aware that this is the situation. So we do have the sort of awareness with the then future awareness that we'll have much more aggressive goals going into November and December.
Wait, so this is like what we experienced last year. Last year, I'm not joking when I say this, we had $1 million budgets and it wouldn't spend it. We there
Yeah.
were zeros and zeros and zeros. So are you feeling that this year will be pretty similar? How do you ramp? Say, and I'll go through this because I have a little bit of ideation of like what I think will run for offers and when we're going to go live. But say it's day one, Friday morning, Black Friday, offer dropped at midnight. Are we not scaling or quote unquote surfing the budget up that day? Do you think that's going to hit again this year or no?
It just depends on when you decide to get the offer live. I think if you're putting it live like on Thanksgiving Day, you probably can get away with having super high budgets when you launch. What I've been noticing is like the week before, you can still get good performance out of your offer, but you can't necessarily scale it right off the bat because the demand is still not fully there yet. So it's more of like a slow ramp up, but you still can get good performance at low scale. But really the scale is still during the peak period. I think as marketers and advertisers, we're trying to squeeze as much juice out of this as possible. I still think it's worth it to launch early, but just have the expectation generally that you're probably not going to be as scalable as you'd want to be, scaled as you'd want to be during that period prior to Thanksgiving and Black Friday. But again, things could change this year, but the algorithm still seems to be kind of favoring not huge amounts of budget increases. It doesn't love that. If it was me, I would probably have like a whole separate campaign that you scheduled to go live on Thanksgiving that has like really specific messaging that's like very high budgets, instead of just trying to push up your current stuff only, because it likely will be difficult just to like quadruple budgets and expect similar performance. So
it's so important and this is also why like I love talking to you about this stuff, is because you're close enough to understand the tactical execution needed, and I'm not needed to be in the accounts. Like, I'm formulating the offer, and since the way I'm trying to think through this from the brand side, so this is probably a little bit more insight to you, and maybe on the retention team, if we were to talk to somebody there, they'd probably understand why I'm talking this way. We have customers that don't know anything about us, so that's our first time offer that has to be acceptable enough for anybody. And this is me thinking about, yes, I know I'm in a lull right now, so our plan, and I'm looking at my media plan now, I'm probably going to maintain spend similar to what you talked about. We're going to maintain spend for the rest of September and try to just be like as CAC payback period day one profitable as possible. I'm mad / frustrated because I thought we'd be scaling into spend, even accepting a worse performance, a higher CAC target, just to kind of fill the funnel. That's what I wanted to do now. We'll probably have to greenlight that in October. That's what I'm looking at for pace, because last year Amazon Prime went Q4 way early, and so now you have Amazon going live, pulling wallet share. Then that meant we had to go live early, and so now our Black Friday Cyber Monday last year, if I was looking at the notes this morning before the call, was literally like a month of offer. We ran a whole month pure offer, and I'm like, dude, like that means you have to change it, because you can't just keep hammering the same message overall. So this year I'm looking at it very differently. So we have those that have never seen our brand before but might be interested in taking the offer. We have those that have bought from us maybe one time, but they have not jumped on a multi-purchase. Those that have bought from us multiple times, but have not jumped on subscription. And then our subscribers. So I actually have to have 4 very different messaging across the board. From an agency standpoint, if you don't understand that that's going to happen now, how would you even build that out?
it's just frantic. I mean, that's what it would be if that's the case. Yeah, I mean, which typically was what it is at the last second.
It is.
I
It
mean,
literally is
you
like,
could
hey,
think,
by the way.
thankfully, we have really good internal processes that we have really quick turnarounds, but it still can be very chaotic. So, I mean,
Right.
obviously, the sooner you know, the better. But it still is going to always be. I think this time of year is always chaotic. I think people just wake up and they're like, "Oh yeah,
Black
this is
Friday's here.
happening." Like again, even though it happens at the same time every year. But
So what's really going to hold us back right now, because I'm not finalized on what the offer is going to be. We're
yeah,
stuck between two things. We're either going to move as much units as possible, or make as much money as possible. And both of those, you try to have to be the same thing, but they can't. Like, you can't do a buy more, save more and expect to be like the most profitable offer, because you're like, I'm just trying to increase my overall AOV.
yep,
And I'm sitting here going, okay, I think we're going to do a new product release to incentivize them to buy more so they get X product if they spend X dollars. So it's definitely going to be more of a reward system. Is there an offer that you love from the paid media side, or even, I would even say just from a marketing standpoint, that most of the brands you're probably push them into? Or are you going to go bespoke, every brand, all unique?
yeah. I mean, we are very big fans of subscription businesses because that's where we can get the most scale and have the most CAC allowable. So that's typically where we'll favor that. I really, for like health and wellness brands specifically, do like a buy more save more style. But honestly, for all other brands outside of health and wellness, I'm not testing as much buy more, save more. It's definitely more of like a very aggressive first time sub offer and making the offer look so juicy from a subscription perspective that they feel stupid not subscribing to it.
Yeah.
So I love a buy box setup where the full price looks like really painful. So then when they see the sub offer, they're like, oh, this is so great. I have to subscribe. And usually it's like a very deep first time discount, 40% off, 50% off first time subs, then recurring 15% off after that. We see something in that range do very, very well for most brands. So from an offer perspective, that's where I would go to if you are a subscription business. But if you're in the health and wellness space, which I guess you could kind of call yourself
Yeah.
health and wellness, depending on the day. Yeah, you could. I do like a buy more, save more, because really the whole idea for those sorts of brands is you want to have them be super habitual. So you're giving them an incentive to keep taking that product, because it's going to make them feel better long term, and then they're going to want to re-up again. So that's kind of how I would typically think about it, but just very heavy first time offer. And then if it's on the email side or retention side of the business, I really don't work on that very
Yeah.
much. But I think there's a lot of like cross sells, or offering subscription, like you're saying, to people that haven't subscribed yet, even at like a maybe not your steepest discount, but at a good rate, could also make sense.
There's two buckets really if we're trying to plan it correctly. Easy, understandable, offer up front, get them on the subscription as much as we can. And then to the existing subscribers, we have to give them something because they're already with us. So we have to incentivize them, which is usually new product releases or like a wild discount or even free product from someone that's already been subscribing for us. If they just stay with us one more month, we're usually able to be profitable in that like payback period, because we're sitting usually between an $80 AOV. The LTV on someone that's with us is I literally checked it yesterday when I was going through reports. It's like $600 to $800. Like they spend with us and they stick with us for a long period of time. So we ran an offer in June and July, which was buy a variety pack, try all of our new blends, get free
Yep.
shots, which was like a smaller drink. And it was such a scalable offer, but we didn't do the correct math and we didn't adjust our CAC targets. And it put us into such a terrible hole that literally this month we are like $50 CAC, 1 day payback period profitability. And it was
Yep.
so nervous. This is what put me in a tough spot to go, oh my God, am I not going to be able to spend for September or October? Because I got to refill this funnel. Because I just went with the bigger offer right now, which I think August is far enough away to where it's not going to pull too much revenue forward from Black Friday. What do you think?
No, I think you're totally fine. I mean, people are just thinking of people like consumers themselves are thinking about PSL coming back, and they're thinking about like,
Which is pumpkin spice
yeah,
latte, not an acronym.
yeah, yes.
That's yeah.
Sorry, I'll stay away from acronyms. That one is like the most like basic acronym, but like people are in that mindset right now. They're thinking about like Halloween and all that stuff, and they're not really fully thinking about holiday yet. Holiday being Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I think you're still in a safe zone. I think when it comes to like mid October is when people are like, oh yeah, that's like a month away. They're thinking about how much they're spending. That's when things get a little bit trickier.
I'm actually very curious about this. What would you want? So say like perfect situation. When does a brand come to you on the agency side? If you were to, I guess like design the perfect mate, like if you're designing a husband or wife, it'd be like, I would love for them to come at this time with this type of, what information would you want them to come in by when?
For getting Black Friday live, I mean, honestly, I would say
Yeah.
like they should be coming into our funnel like now. We shouldn't be in mid September to October. I mean, really, now is the best time. Like early September is like kind of the period which they should come, because at that point we could still offer test. We could still test like a few different offers before we actually get to Black Friday. Because if a lot of times people will come to us, they don't know what their best offers are. They don't know what the plan is. So that way we can at least have a game plan, know top creative formats. We have top landing pages. We have top offers. And then it'll be a quick testing turnaround, but then at least you have something to indicate what you should be doing going into Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Because really the big thing that I continue to harp on, and I feel like I'll be doing this for the rest of my life, is we don't do testing during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. It's not a testing period. It's a
No.
winning period. We're just scaling. The only other thing I will recommend is having a contingent offer that's already has ads made for it, landing pages made for it, paused out in an ad account, just in case something crazy happens. You could flip it on. It's literally no extra work outside of what you already prepped. So it's like
This is
you are just ready to move once it's time to go.
So do you think September, so basically you have September, first week of October, second week of October?
You can get through the end of October, but it's have to have some expectation. There could be some softness just based on seasonality, but you can still get results
Yeah,
as long
okay.
as you have some general understanding.
Because we have like four offers sitting that I'm literally looking at as I'm looking. I have four offers sitting depending on like the different type of product we're gonna have in inventory. Because what we're not sure about, and I think this is where a lot of the brands, because they don't know their forecast of products and inventory as well as they should, and
Yep.
because they haven't ran intentional offers Q1, 2, and 3, they're gonna come and
Yep.
be like, well, we don't know what we're doing. we've like, you got to look what performed for Mother's Day, got to look what performed for Father's Day, what was performing a little bit, and we have buckets. Like I think this is the biggest thing that a lot of brands don't think about. You have offers that move units. You have offers that drive the highest AOV, and you have offers that have the sexiest take rate. And
Yep.
like fingers crossed, like I hope I cross two of the three at any time. I hope I
For
cross
sure.
all three of them. But you sometimes you don't, and that's depending on the business. And so for us, we know Q1, New Year, New Me is our big time.
For
But we
sure.
also know that right now, because of we have retail presence, because we have new product launches, we have to partake in moving units. That's why we go with usually a buy more, save more. And so I think for a brand that's coming towards the agency side, you should have an idea of going like, hey, we ran some of these tests. This moved the most amount of units. This gave us the highest AOV. But the contingency plan you called about, literally last year, we woke up in the morning because our offer was super long. So we were framing it as much as we possibly could on email.
Yeah.
The ads were not scaling. Meta would not take our budget. We actually spent more money on Apple event than we did at any other platform during that
Yeah.
period holiday. And if we did not have ads already made, pages already live, pausing the account, there's no way we would have been able to spin it up. And that was from the brands. That was from our side of like everybody's full time working on this fucking thing. So
For sure.
it's a must. I think that's the biggest call out that I don't think people pay attention to.
A lot of people also kind of roll their eyes when I say like, "Oh, maybe we should have a backup offer." It's like we no one wants to be working over that time of year. Like no one's available. No one's available for approvals. No one really wants to be online. We only get online to scale
Yeah.
and like keep things alive, but we're just trying to, you know, do what's best for the brands. So honestly, having a backup plan and never having to use it, that's like my best case scenario. That's great. Like we always want to be in that situation, but I would much rather be safe than sorry, especially if like a lot of your goals are on the line. I've had, you know, brands that
Yeah,
have come
it's
to me and
true.
said, we're planning on this being our biggest Black Friday ever. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's what you're planning on, then
Yeah, the
we
offer.
have to really like figure this out. So that, and then some brands are like, oh, if we get like like if we can like scale a little bit and just get efficiency, we're happy with that. That's also fine. Maybe you don't need a contingent offer, but definitely for those brands with really high scale goals, you really got to be locked in.
I think the biggest takeaway is like you have you have September and maybe the first week of October to offer test. You
Yeah,
have, and not just offer test, angle and creative tests around those
for
areas.
sure.
You know you're going to keep Evergreen live. I do think and I don't think a lot of people will do this, but they should. You should have a unique landing page that either lives on site or
Yes.
is separate that has the specific offer there. Yes, you're going to do site-wide banner. Yes, you're going to do terminology on PDPs, but you should have a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or at least a holiday themed collection page or page that can
Yeah.
allow you to drive traffic to specifically that isn't hidden or like a lander you can only get through social. I will die on that hill forever. And I do believe that this is a time where a lot of the static images really come to life. And one thing that we're doing that most people haven't, we use Postpilot. We send hard mail to 545-day back customers. That's like almost 2 years old. Hey guys, by the way, we have this offer. Trying to get them back to the website. I think this is a
Yeah.
little bit of a Hail Mary. It's a couple $1,000, but man, that fills the funnel. So that actually for me that goes out on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm excited to see if I can convince some of these OGs to come back
Yeah.
to us. Any
I
final
love it.
tips you'd say for the brands before they come in?
I don't know if before they come in, but there was something you mentioned that I think is at least worth talking about, which
Hit
is
me.
the creative that you're getting live. I think is super important. I think statics are king when it comes to promotions typically. I can't say that across every
True.
brand, but the only time I see video work is if you have an influencer doing some sort of scripted content that's actually talking specifically about your promotion. I actually see that work very, very well. Just be very specific to that time of year. It is kind of an investment because
Yeah.
you're literally just paying for content for a very, very short period of time. But if you're going to spend a lot of money and you really want to get great results, I have seen the payback on UGC. It's very scalable, and people feel like it's like the it offer. It's kind of like they're in on a secret. And then if you really don't feel like you can afford to do that, I would invest heavily into statics. I mean, could be just text only
Anything.
statics. It sounds very unsexy, but it works super well.
No,
So
clean
there's
as
those
time.
sorts of things. Yeah,
Clean as time,
again,
man.
I agree. It's like it's definitely not flashy, but I think people like you're just trying to get the main message to them quickly to convert. So that would be my other kind of general call out going into that, thinking about your creative mix. I would not focus too much on like a produced video or like a lifestyle video with text overlay. It's probably not worth your effort.
This pod will probably come out middle of September, and then we'll probably do another one middle of October, and we're gonna do another like pulse check on Black Friday. Because at this point, fingers crossed, some of our brands should be like kind of locked in. We know what we're doing or closer to it. So I'm gonna definitely ask you again. Hey, are people coming quicker, or are they actually paying attention to this? So I'm excited to go into this one. But besides no more planning or talking about the Black Friday, are you seeing anything aside the agency? There's one thing I saw yesterday that Val was talking about, or earlier this week, but anything else that you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now. I feel like there's been a lot going on in the industry for a second.
Yeah.
But like, so just as an example, so like we have a Slack channel that's connected to Meta's outages that they have. In the last 2 weeks, we've had 5 outages. It's like disruptions to ad creation, disruptions to delivery, high disruptions to delivery. It's like you can't tell me that those disruptions are not disrupting us. Like we don't get any communication about this, but it's happening. Weird stuff's going on. The systems are being moved. There's like a lot of changes going on within Meta. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we are not privy to, but we know something is happening. So I think that that's like on the agency side stuff that we're seeing, but we really don't want to sound super conspiratorial, but we also feel like something's going on.
What is the app? What is the integration on the Slack? Because I think people need to have that. People
it's
need
just
to have
like
this.
it's like the Facebook outage detector, I think is what it is. It's just connected to our Slack channel, so we just get automated notifications when it comes out, and when those are happening. And like just for context, back in the day, when I say back in the day, like let's say it's like pre iOS 14, like maybe 2020 maybe, I think we may have seen like one a year. Like these things never used to happen, and in the last year they've been happening like all the time. So there's just a lot of tinkering going on in the algorithm in the back end that's causing stuff to kind of go off the rails. So that's one thing that we're always up against. And there's obviously, a lot of other things that we're excited about, but it also leads to challenges. Like we're very pro TikTok. We feel like GMV Max is going to be very big for our clients and scaling those brands. We have a few brands that are on it currently, seeing very solid success with it. But I will say, like from an onboarding, getting things ramped up perspective, it's very time consuming. It's very difficult. So it's definitely leading. You have to have affiliate programs fully running, and a lot of our brands don't have affiliate running, or they want us to do it, so then we have to get that program set up. Trying to get affiliate set up is a bit of a challenge. It takes a lot of effort, money.
A lot of bodies.
Yes, so those are some of the challenges that we're dealing with on the TikTok side of things, but we're very pro TikTok. Especially with all if someone's on the shops, we're pro it. I guess if they aren't integrated on the shops, we're very anti TikTok because we don't think it works. So that's kind of where our head's at. So like we're really pushing our brands to get onto TikTok shop.
Okay. Do you think that TikTok shop, because TikTok shop for us for Q4 last year did absolutely nothing. That was like so difficult for us to get up and running, but also it might have been because we do not have a heavy amount of affiliates. Do those go hand in hand?
Correct. They go very hand in hand. It's incredibly important that you guys have a fully fleshed out strategy on the affiliate side, where so if you haven't been running affiliate, you're going to actually have to pay people just to feel positive about posting things for you. So you have to pay commission, and then going forward, you'll just do a commission-based strategy most likely. Okay. So it's a very pay-to-play sort of things. Once you get up and running, and they're recommending you get between 200 and 1,000 affiliate videos out a week.
A week?
A week.
Wait, so it's almost like they have to. Okay, I don't. Why? What did you ask them? Like, why is this the number? Are they just saying that because they want you to be juicing in content creating?
They sent us a spreadsheet with how much people the top spenders on TikTok are spending, and how much video content they're pushing out through the affiliate programs. And the reason why is that they're doing a lot of different strategies from what I can pick up on. One of them is that they'll do these promotional strategies. So like for 1 week, the affiliate will push a specific strategy, like for a or a specific promo. And so all of the whole, like basically when you get onto TikTok, you know, when you've seen like
Yeah.
every single brand is, or every single person is talking about one specific brand, that's because they're like flooding the system with, hey, we have this great offer, it's this 1 week only. And then so they have all those videos
Mm,
just for that one period, and they're super, super performant because it feels like everyone's talking about it because they are. They're
right.
literally paying people to go out there and push that. So I think that the mass amount of videos is the reason for that is because they're pulsing offers, so you can't use the same content all the time. And then the other thing is that, you know, as you
Huh.
know, content can die really quickly, so you have to just keep pushing stuff out there, because it's just like every other trend. It gets hot and then it falls off, it's like every other trend within TikTok. So there's just a lot of content needs on that platform, but the brands that are focused on it are seeing really good success. So we think we have a handful of brands that could be very successful on TikTok. We're just working very quickly and tirelessly to get them pushed, like fully set up and pushing them on GMV Max.
This is the hardest part for me because I'm sitting here and we have not cracked TikTok, and I don't know if my internal team, because we have an incredible influence lead, and she gets it. She understands the type of style of the content we want. We have a different variety of products, but the to go week by week offer specific on TikTok is a full time situation. Like that I think that's why agencies should be actually used to just
Yep.
do that specific thing over and over, which is just crazy to hear like the volume in which these people are pushing is
Yes.
probably because it's people just solely dedicate. This is your only job. You need to make sure you go and do this.
But
And
yeah, but if
it's,
you're also making $1 million a week off a TikTok shop, then it would make
I know,
sense to do it.
I fully agree. But this, if I guess if I'm putting strategically an offer for a week on TikTok, if that offer performs there, a lot of the TikTok people don't have other presences like in Instagram or Meta. And so using it as like white label content for them, you probably have to set that up, or you just like rip those ads from them if you get approval to go on other channels. But if that offer is only live for a week, do you have to run that offer again and keep it live on other channels? Like do you let TikTok lead and then you take any of this stuff and go into other channels? Are we doing that for some of the brands?
We're not doing that. We're really keeping TikTok as its own kind of promotional channel. And then we have our evergreen stuff running on Meta, Google, Snapchat, really all the other platforms, because it's all, I mean, because it's run through affiliate, like the approval process, the permissions is kind of a nightmare
Mm-hmm.
going outside of the platform. And then a lot of times, like, it's like TikTok is really meant to be ramped up quickly. Like we were talking about, Meta does not like to ramp up quickly as much anymore.
Mm.
Neither does Google. So like those are more evergreen platforms, where TikTok is like this, it's like this crazy engine that they keep fueling. So I think that they're kind of separate. I have not seen it done. Doesn't mean it couldn't be done. That you could
Sure.
kind of move it over. But I think it's an interesting idea if we have a brand that'd be interested in testing it. But that's I think why it works is because TikTok is like this, has like this like very big like FOMO factor. Like you don't want to miss out on, you don't have this fear of missing out on this offer for a short time, or like everyone's doing it, I have to purchase it. They have all these like timers and all
I know it's
this
very
content around it.
performance.
Yeah. It was like definitely made by someone who understands performance marketing.
Which is I know I think early on when they had a creator discovery play, I was like every platform needs to understand how they're doing this and why they're doing this, especially on the affiliate side. I also saw a trend. It was like ad dollars. Meta's obviously still king, but I think TikTok was so close to them in terms of revenue generated from ads specifically. I think TikTok was right next to them, right above them, or just right below them in the recent for this year so far. I'm going to dig that up and hopefully I can overlay it onto one of these conversations. Do you think this is my probably my final question for you on the TikTok side of things? If an offer or ad or something, you do offer testing on Meta and Google, but then you do offer testing that's different on TikTok. Wouldn't the offer testing that we're doing on TikTok be used as what could potentially be the offer for Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Or you believe that those ecosystems are completely different?
I think you could use it. Like if it's a BOGO deal, like that to me is like a approachable. But if it's like a 24-hour flash sale and then it's like another 24-hour flash sale with a different offer, that seems chaotic to run on Meta.
Yeah.
But if it's like BOGO, then sure. Evergreen, whenever it's like a little bit more evergreen, can run for a few days, I would say yes, it could work on Meta. And then if it's very kind of like instantaneous flash sale style, I don't love those for Meta because they're very hard to scale up. And you have to just trust the process because you set your budgets really high on Meta, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So
Yes.
that would be my that would be kind of my initial gut reaction to that, on like
Okay.
what you could possibly do.
Okay, that makes it fair enough sense. Anything else outside of TikTok that you're seeing coming up? That was awesome. Like that, something I've been thinking about for such a long time because we haven't been able to make it work, and we have the cool enough product, we have the ability to run the offers. It just hasn't hit. So, thank you for sharing that.
I think you guys could crush on TikTok, but it, like you're saying, it would take either an agency or at least a full-time person to be managing that because it is a lot of work. So yeah, that would be my. I think you guys could do it. Outside of that, I would say other kind of industry related trends. Meta, has been making some changes to their measurement tool. I don't know if you guys run a lot of like conversion lift studies, but that's another kind of newer shift that's been happening. They're changing how they do their measurement on their conversion lift studies recently, which is I don't know what the impact of that's going to be, other than they say you shouldn't run your conversion lift studies until September 16th. So that's another kind of random FYI, but we have been using those conversion lift studies on a lot of clients to measure incrementality, but that's the only other kind of bigger industry shift that I've been seeing.
I saw that the in the channel, the guys were. I think you actually shared it about Triple Whale updated or had an update around how things are being measured from an attribution standpoint. What was that about?
Yeah, that's a good call out. Yeah, so a lot of our accounts are either using Northbeam or Triple Whale as our attribution tool, but do have more clients using Triple Whale at this point. And they did roll out. It's not super new, but it's newer to us.
Yeah.
It's called Total Impact. It's their attribution tool, so it integrates survey data. So we're using that a lot more across our clients. We've seen the most direct correlation between the platform performance to the site-wide performance. So if the platform like Meta or Google is up 10%, the site-wide performance is also up 10%.
Okay.
So we're seeing them move directionally in the same place. So we've been using this a lot, and some of the things that we've been kind of uncovering is sometimes we're seeing like higher survey results. Like one of our clients had really high word of mouth performance that was like coming through. So the recommendation from Triple Whale is to actually not use total impact for optimization on a daily basis, but use it more on like a 7-day look back and just use like a last click or triple attribution, which can be helpful to like not having those conversions that may have been given to a platform. You kind of can optimize using the Triple Whale data without missing some conversions. Because obviously, if you miss like 5 conversions on a campaign, then you might not push up spend on something on like one specific ad set. So there's just like impacts to not having all the data in there. So they're saying to use that last click or triple attribution instead when you're doing optimization. So that was the main update because a lot of our clients are using total impact right now.
We have it across the board. So we actually use, I don't know if you've heard of it, we use Converge and Triple Whale. Have you heard of Converge? So Converge is, we do a lot of landing page testing. And so a lot of our head of performance, his name is Brandon Fink. And because of how much we launch and we have bundle builder, we have multiple SKUs, multiple variants of those SKUs, multiple offers that are very, very different from a price point standpoint, that we do like revenue per recipient or revenue per landing page. And so Converge has like every one of our landing pages there. So we usually go from Converge to platform to triple and measure it across all of them. And we have a post-purchase survey as well. But it's been so interesting to see really like back to the OG days of optimizing page per revenue that it's driving on like a visit standpoint versus just seeing like, oh, what's the overall ROAS or what's the overall, we do report mainly on AMER and first time customer CAC because of such a heavy subscription brand that we were doing. And that's
Yeah.
probably been the biggest thing that we're learning right now is we're so like we do, this is something that agencies can't do manually, but you might be able to do automatically. We do an update every single hour on total spend, platforms that we're spending on, revenue per email, revenue per campaign, subscribers grow. Like we have this just one doc, it's a thread. So every day it's like today is August 29th dash scale thread. And then in that thread, it's an update every single hour until we all go to bed. It is
So aggressive.
so aggressive. It is so aggressive. And because we run so many channels, I'm like, there's no way another agency would be able to
Yeah.
do this. But I will say, Becca, it's really fucking nice to see on an hourly basis AOV change, dollar spend per channel. We have our
Yeah.
affiliates kind of plugged into this. And I don't think it's realistic because we have two guys that just do this. That's on Brandon's team. But it does aggregate into, we're pulling all the APIs from every platform plus from Triple. But to get this kind of in Slack, I'll kind of show you off call. It's pretty nice to look at. I think it's a little overwhelming, but it's really nice.
I'll have to take a look. I still like a little skeptical, but I
I'll
believe you,
show
but I'm
you.
also a little skeptical.
I'll show you. This was like I won't take us longer than what we did. That understanding. You guys, what we're trying to do is trying to show a little bit of what's happening on the brand side as well as on the agency side. For someone that's deep on both sides, I'm so appreciative of your angle and your understanding, and I'm excited. This is going to be a fun thing to talk about on a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
I agree. This is going to be great. I've already had my brains move and thinking about your offers for Black Friday. I might have a few ideas for you as well.
I appreciate that. Well, I hope you have a good Labor Day, guys. Thank you guys for paying attention and listening and caring about this. We'll see you next time. Take care.
See ya.